How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the solo raid guide for Aegir. I'll be going over major mechanics and some notable attack patterns. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for future videos. The entry requirement for the solo Aegir raid is item level 1660. Completing this raid will reward you with materials that are needed to craft the ancient tier 4 armor and weapon, which will give you more evolution points for your arc passive tree. The Solo Mode shop has also been updated recently to include tier 4 honing materials and level 6 tier 4 gems, so be sure to check that out before you enter the fight. You can access the Solo Mode shop by clicking a button within the Solo Raid user interface, or you can visit the NPC in major cities. The currency you need to buy items from this shop can be obtained by clearing most raids in the game. Before entering Gate 1, you want to bring the following battle items: Dark Grenade and Atropine. The fourth battle item is optional. If you're having issues with the stagger checks, bring Whirlwind Grenade. For Gate 1, you'll be fighting a Khan. Some of a Khan's attack patterns from the tier 3 version of this fight linger in this fight as well, with some twists. Ultimately, this fight is pretty simple, so you shouldn't have much trouble. In Gate 1, the boss starts off with 220 lines of HP. Around 195 or below, you will get to the first major mechanic. The boss will vanish and a cutscene will occur. After the cutscene, you will notice a large shadow appearing on the far left side, right side, or middle of the map. This shadow indicates that a large boulder is going to spawn there in just a moment. You need to get out of the shadow to avoid dying, as the boulder will instantly kill you. Afterwards, the boss will teleport behind you and attempt to pull you in and do a slash attack. The slash attack does not do a lot of damage, so no worries if you get hit. The second major mechanic happens around 170 HP lines or below. The boss will move to the middle, and you'll need to stand close to the boss so that you can get hit by a slash attack. If you avoid the slash attack, it will be a raid wipe. When you get hit by the attack, you'll be brought to a separate dimension. You'll see a bunch of orbs flying around that don't do a lot of damage, and 4 clones on the map. The clones are located at top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. 2 of the clones have a target icon on them, and the other 2 do not. You'll need to walk up to both clones that have a target icon and perform an auto attack to trigger the stagger bar, then complete the stagger check by using the abilities on your action bar. You will need to stagger both clones in time, otherwise it will be a wipe. You have plenty of time to finish this and does not require a lot of stagger. When you complete the stagger check, you'll be brought back to the outside and the boss will be in the middle, taking reduced damage. In a moment, the boss will show a stagger bar and you'll need to complete the stagger check. If you fail to complete the stagger check, it will be a raid wipe. The stagger check is easy to finish, but if you have enough sidereal meter, you can use the Thar sidereal to instantly complete the stagger check. The Way sidereal also does stagger damage. The third major mechanic happens around 143 HP lines or below. The boss will vanish and a cutscene will occur. After the cutscene, your camera will zoom out and there will be a lot of red circle telegraphs that don't do a lot of damage. In a moment, you will see 2 yellow telegraphs on the left and right side of the map. A broken pillar will spawn in both of these spots, and you'll need to hide behind any one of the 2 pillars to prevent being hit by the map-wide fire attack that will occur in just a moment. Once the attack is finished, the boss is going to teleport behind you and try to pull you in and perform a slash attack. The next major mechanic happens at 115 HP lines or below. The boss will move to the middle, gain a massive shield, and outside of the area will not be safe. You will need to go to the middle where the boss is located. The goal for this mechanic is to break the shield that is on the boss in a certain amount of time. When the boss performs a blue telegraph attack, which will either be inside or outside safe, then the boss will take full damage. In addition, every time the boss performs a blue telegraph attack, a clone of Vultan will spawn at the edge of the area noted by red telegraphs. A Vultan will always glow blue for a counter a moment after he spawns. This mechanic is going to test your skills of consistently countering Vultan while dealing damage to the boss. Every time you counter Vultan, you will generate a lot of sidereal meter. 2 counters in total will fill up your sidereal meter entirely. If the shield is not broken and you have sidereal meter, you can use the Way or Bashing sidereal to break the shield on the boss. At 85 HP lines or below, the next major mechanic will happen. A cutscene will occur, then after a moment, you will notice a donut-shaped telegraph that you will want to dodge. When the first portion of the donut telegraph goes off, spacebar to avoid damage. After the donut telegraph, another follow-up pizza telegraph will occur with 2 safe spots. Then the boss will appear in the middle and finish the mechanic. The next major mechanic happens around 60 HP lines or below. The boss will vanish and appear on the far right side of the map with a slow map-wide telegraph where left of the map is safe. Go to the far left side and wait for the cutscene to occur. Then you will see a large arm in the middle of the map that you need to kill. I recommend using your Hyper Awakening on the arm, but a few damage skills should also be enough. When you kill the arm, it will move towards you, and you need to block it when it gets close to you. Press G on your keyboard when it gets close to you to block the arm. When you finish blocking, you will rush to the boss that's in front of you and finish a stagger check as soon as you can. It is recommended to use the Thar or Way Sidereal to help with this stagger check. The last major mechanic happens at 30 HP lines or below. A cutscene will occur, and the boss will appear in the center for a stagger check. However, you'll have to deal with the donut and pizza telegraphs that were shown during the 85 mechanic. In addition, after the donut and pizza telegraphs occur, a large blue telegraph will be shown where the right or left side of the map is safe. However, instead of moving to either side, it is recommended to use your spacebar when the blue telegraph blinks twice so that you can push immune the attack and immediately continue dealing stagger to the boss. Once the stagger check is finished, your goal is to burn the boss down to 0 to end the fight. Now that we've gone over all major mechanics, I would like to go over some notable attacks that can happen throughout the fight. The boss will stand still, charging up his scythe, and show a red telegraph with a few safe spots. Then he will show a yellow telegraph that is map wide. You have to stand in front of the safe spot that is shown. When the yellow attack happens, it will knock you back into the safe spot, which will prevent damage. The boss will charge up his scythe and perform a large slash in front of him. Then he will slide forward, turn around, and throw multiple orbs in front of him that will fear you if you get hit. You can spacebar these orbs to prevent being feared. The boss will show a bunch of red eyes around him. There will be a shadow somewhere near the boss that you need to go to prevent damage and knockback. The boss will slam his weapon on the ground and show a distinct map-wide red aura on the ground. This is the cue to look away from the boss. The boss will lift up his weapon and slam it on the ground. If you get hit by the slam, you'll be stunned for a few seconds. Afterwards, the boss will show a frontal cone telegraph and slash in your direction, which does moderate damage. It is recommended to spacebar the slam attack instead of moving away. The boss will take both his weapons and drag them across the ground, showing a blue and green area that is in front and behind him. Then the boss will lift up his weapon, showing a blue or green color. The safe spot for this attack is going to be the opposite color that his weapon is showing. So if the weapon glows green, you will stand in blue. The boss will vanish and show multiple blue line telegraphs that you should avoid. In a moment, the boss will teleport next to you and glow blue for a counterattack. If you get hit by the blue telegraph, you'll be imprisoned for a few seconds. The boss will slam the ground multiple times, showing green telegraphs. After the boss slams the ground a second time, he will glow blue for a counterattack. This counterattack only exists in solo mode. This is a random attack that can occur at 170 HP lines or below. You may not always see this attack. The boss will show a pizza safe telegraph, then afterwards, Vulcan will spawn and showcase a yellow telegraph. Right before the yellow telegraph reaches the edge, press G to block the attack. This is a random attack that can occur at 85 HP lines or below. You may not always see this attack. The boss will vanish and a red circle telegraph will be shown, then a large hand will land directly in the middle of the map. After a moment, a flame circle will appear, then slowly move out. You will need to press G when the flame gets close to you to block the attack. Now that we have finished Gate 1, let's dive into Gate 2. For battle items, you'll be using the same as Gate 1, Dark Grenade and Atropine. The last phase has Death by Gravity, where you can get knocked off the map. If you are struggling with that, you can bring Time Stop instead of Atropine. In Gate 2, you'll be fighting Aegir himself. He starts off with 300 lines of HP, and you'll need to burn him down to 260 lines of HP to experience the first major mechanic. At 260 or below, the boss will teleport to the middle of the map, then a cutscene will occur. After the cutscene, you'll see a heart in the middle of the map with the boss hovering above it. In addition, there are lasers coming from the heart that will move clockwise. The lasers do a lot of damage, so avoid them the best you can. You need to deal enough damage to the heart to move on to the next mechanic. The damage required is pretty minimal, so a few skills should be enough. You have a lot of time to complete this mechanic. However, if you take longer than a few seconds, the boss will periodically glow yellow for a block attack. Pay attention to when he is about to slam his weapon, then press G to block the attack. If you do not kill the heart in time, it will be a raid wipe. When you kill the heart, a cutscene will occur, then the map will rotate, and you'll move straight to the next mechanic, which lasts from 260 to 250. For this mechanic, the boss will take reduced damage. When this mechanic starts, you'll want to hug the left or right side of the map at top or bottom. In a moment, a large leg will appear from the center and drag itself from top to bottom, attempting to stun you. Hug the wall to prevent being stunned. Once the leg goes away, you'll see two spears on the map that both require a stagger check. You only need to deal with one of the spears. This is because the boss has a damage reduction buff of 33%, and dealing with one spear will remove that buff entirely. Once that buff goes away, continue to damage the boss. The leg will periodically keep spawning and moving from top to bottom, so this mechanic is essentially a rinse and repeat until you either deal enough damage to the boss, or it'll move on to the next mechanic automatically after a certain amount of time. Once this mechanic is finished, the map will rotate again, and you will immediately transition to the next mechanic, which is from 250 to 210. The boss will levitate in the air, and the map scenery will change. For this mechanic, the boss has scripted attacks which are easy to dodge. However, there is a rare gimmick for this mechanic. If you touch the outside of the map, you'll be transported to the opposite side and gain a debuff. If you get 7 stacks of this debuff, you'll be brought to 1 HP. If you spend too long in this phase, the boss will do a special pattern. If the boss teleports to the top, bottom, left, or right side, he will require a counter. If the counter fails, he will do a map-wide attack, which does a ton of damage, and will push you back to the outside. If you succeed the counter, the boss will aim his laser on his side that does heavy damage. The other pattern is when the boss teleports to top left, top right, bottom left, or bottom right edge of the map. He will showcase a red telegraph that you should avoid. In a moment, he will require a stagger check. At some point in this phase, the boss will teleport to the middle and spawn a wall that starts at the edge and starts closing in, attempting to kill you. Use the Avel Sidereal when the wall spawns, as this will kill the wall and do a lot of damage to the boss. As a TLDR, you just have to dodge some attacks, use the Avel Sidereal when the wall spawns, and get the boss at 210 HP lines to finish this mechanic. You can immediately finish this mechanic upon starting it by using the Avel Sidereal right away, since she deals a ton of damage to the boss. The next major mechanic happens at 165 HP lines or below. The boss will teleport to the middle and a cutscene will occur. After the cutscene, the heart will appear in the middle of the map and require a stagger check. At the same time, lasers will come from the heart that rotate clockwise. The goal is to kill the heart and the shield on the boss in a certain amount of time. In addition, during this mechanic, the boss will do a special block attack every 14 seconds. This is also noted as a buff below his HP bar, which counts down the time. When it hits 0 seconds, the boss will interrupt any attack he is currently doing and lift his weapon in the air. When he's about to slam the ground, press G to block the attack. Continue to deal damage to the boss until the shield goes away, then kill the heart in the middle. If you take too long to do both, it will be a raid wipe. You can immediately finish this mechanic upon starting it by using the Avel Sidereal, since it does enough damage to the boss and the heart at the same time. Just make sure that the boss is close to the heart in the middle. If enough DPS occurs, the boss should be at 153 HP lines or below, which will skip the next mechanic entirely. If the boss is above 153 when the mechanic is finished, you'll have to do the same mechanic as 260 to 250, where you have to stagger the spear and damage the boss to 153. The next major mechanic happens at 95 HP lines or below. The boss will vanish, a cutscene will occur, then the boss will appear in the middle of the map. About 1 second after Thyrane's dialogue box shows up, use the Ellen Sidereal. This will trigger a special interaction that will deal a lot of damage to the boss. If you miss the timing for the Ellen Sidereal, you'll have to complete the stagger check on the boss while avoiding his laser. From this point on, there are no more major mechanics, and you'll have to burn the boss down to 0 to end the fight. In this last phase, the map will continue to break off until there's only a small portion left. This is the part of the fight where you can get knocked off the map and die by gravity. You should abuse push immune skills, spacebar, and time stop if you decide to bring it. Periodically, large feet will appear on the map, noted by a red telegraph, and the boss will vanish. The feet will stomp forward, attempting to stun anyone in its path. Then the boss will attempt to land wherever you're standing. This pattern will repeat until the boss is dead. That will wrap up all major mechanics for this fight. I will now go over notable attacks that can happen throughout the fight. The boss will do an attack where he extends his weapon and attacks left and right side, noted by red telegraphs. If you get attacked by the telegraph, he will turn his aggro to you and stab multiple times, knocking you back pretty far. This stab attack is very dangerous in the last phase of the fight. If you do not get hit by the red telegraph, the boss will simply do a stab attack in front of him, basically a free DPS pattern. This is a basic block pattern. A yellow telegraph will be shown, and you need to point your cursor to the middle of the telegraph and press G before the telegraph is finished to block the attack. The boss will slash multiple times in a cone shape, then rotate into a follow-up attack where backside is safe. The boss will fly around multiple times following your current position. After dashing 3 times, he will glow blue for a counter. The boss will spawn a spear that will follow you. At first, the spear will simply spin and push you back if you get close. When the spear stops spinning, they will glow blue for a counter. If you fail to counter the spear, it will attempt to imprison you via a large blue telegraph that is inside safe. Afterwards, the boss will reappear, throw out his weapon that will spin rapidly, then he will do a half circle attack that does a lot of damage. This attack only happens during the distorted realm. He will raise his hand in the air, and large puddles will spawn on the ground. Try your best to avoid this attack as it does a lot of damage. And that wraps up the Aegir Solo Raid Guide. If you have enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Anyways, that is all for now. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.